Hello everybody, I'm Kenric. Today we're going to teach you how to make Chinese roast pork. So you're starting off with roast pork. Has to be with the skin on. Skin side, meat side, lots of good fat in the middle. And you should always remember that you want to find the roast pork that's relatively even thickness all the way through so that when it cooks evenly. So you want to take the side and you're going to put 4 cloves of garlic. So just make a slit in the side in 4 places. So I usually take the cloves of garlic and cut them in half depending on the size. Then you stick it into the side of the roast pork so it's far in, because otherwise during the cooking process, it'll pop up. So again, you stick it in, kind of pinch it together. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to put 5 spice on the top. And this is on the meat side, not the skin side. It doesn't really add actually as much flavor as you think it's going to add. So I usually coat it pretty good so that the meat is all covered. So a couple of things, you want to use a broiling pan and with a rack on the top, because we're going to put water underneath in the pan so that the meat doesn't dry out during the cooking process. Now we're going to just turn it over. So it's going to be skin side up. And then what you're going to do is you're going to buy kosher salt. You're going to coat the top of the skin completely with the salt. And what this salt is going to do is in the cooking process, it's actually going to dry the skin out so you get that nice crispy, crunchy skin on the top. And I know salt is supposed to be unhealthy for you, but as I said, this doesn't really get absorbed into the pork. In fact, the good thing is it won't be that salty. So just be reassured that it looks awful, but it really isn't going to be bad. So as I mentioned earlier, before you put it in the oven, you want to fill the pan up with about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of water. And that's going to prevent the pork from drying out as you cook it, because it does cook for a long time. And so if you don't do this, the pork will dry out. Don't forget, you want to cook it uncovered because you really want the skin to dry out. Just put it on the lower third of the oven, 350 degrees, bake for 1 hour. Well, it's ready to come out of the oven now, and you'll see when it comes out that the salt has crusted up on top nicely. Okay, so now you can see that the salt will come off in sheets. So that's kind of what it's going to look like after you take the salt off. You can see the skin is still not crunchy, but the salt basically has drawn the water out of the skin for the most part. So now we put it back in the oven, 465 for 40 minutes to 45 minutes. All right, so the roast pork just came out of the oven. It's going to look a little like this with a little charring on the top. It's really hard to cut the skin if you don't use a real meat cleaver. Okay, so this is what the roast pork looks like. We can see a lot of the fat burns off the pork belly, so I'll go ahead and give it a try. Oh, you see there? Enjoy.